Hello everyone, welcome back to Zero Tolerance TV. ZT here. Gonna be finishing up the tiebreaker round for Group A. Both these players are 1-1. It's going to be kOs is the purple Terran and XellOs is the blue Terran. There you go. I actually had to restart because I wasn't sure, so now we know for sure. Like I said, both these players are 1-0 in the tiebreakers. I think just the winner here moves on. This might just be for seeding, though. I'm not entirely sure. Obviously, Jinnam is not going to make it out, so I don't think we're going to be seeing any more of him. But I think just one of these players. Not exactly sure on how these groups work. Could be the top two. I think it's the top two that make it out, but it could be the top three. I don't know. Either way, here we are on Nostalgia. I'm trying to remember which map that is. I'm not sure at the moment. Probably figure it out once we're a little into the game. See if we've had a map here before. Looks to be a 4-player map, but I think there were a lot of 4-player maps in this season. Two-player maps I can think of, but there was Guillotine as a 4-player map. Nostalgia, obviously. Can't remember the names of the other ones. There was one with like a machine tile set. Or like the platform tile set, I think it's called. Oh, this is the double ramp one? Sure. So yeah, we have seen a map here before. I can't remember who played in it, though. Either way, neither of these players doing anything too cheeky. No, like, proxied racks or anything like that. It's a little bit of a forward racks from kOs, but nothing too psycho. XellOs taking his gas. I don't think that was pre-barracks. I think that was barracks into gas. Not entirely sure, though. Yeah. Oh, actually, that might have been gas first. I'm not sure. I think you could go back and check, though. I think that barracks was in vision of, or was close enough to the gas that it should have been in vision when we saw the gas taken. So, if you care, if you're you're looking for an old 2003 build order to steal, go ahead and back that up, I guess. Fact started for XellOs, and fact started for kOs. So I think they're actually doing mirrored builds based on this factory timing. Excuse me as I pour this cup of coffee. This is the first thing I'm doing in the morning, so get that caffeine going. Okay, 2 fact from XellOs. So, actually also from kOs. So definitely different builds than what we see today. I think 2 fact on one base is kind of like, maybe not cheese, but like a pretty aggressive strategy. And in this tournament, it's definitely been just kind of standard. This is how you play sort of stuff. Which kind of makes sense. I mean, the more a game goes on, the more corners you realize you can cut. Mini's actually a great example of that. He's really kind of figured out a lot of the corners you can cut in versus Zerg. And now a lot of people are using that. You see gateway expands are a lot more common now. Not that the Forge expand is dead, but you know, Nexus First, which is like a build we'd have basically never seen in 2003, or it would have been considered like just a straight up econ cheese. It's kind of a little more standard now, even in that matchup. So both players just making vultures off these factories. Armory for kOs here. And 3rd fact for XellOs. So this I do think is pretty aggressive. I 2 racks or 2 fine. 3? That's a lot. That's a lot of factories for one base. We see an engagement, but I don't know about this one. I don't think kOs should be taking this fight. XellOs is up on top of a ramp, and yeah, won pretty handedly there by XellOs. I'm not sure what kOs thought that was a good fight to take. That last vulture gets picked off too, so definitely a pretty nice little win there for XellOs. Actually didn't count the number of vultures lost, but I do believe kOs lost more there. kOs in the meantime has started building these Goliaths, fighting quite well against vultures, that's for sure. This one Marine is just trying to take that barracks down. He's trying so hard, but he's probably just not going to make it. Okay, mines for XellOs here. Kind of interesting. I guess they're good against Goliaths, actually, so never mind. Not that interesting. Sinking mines for your vulture mirror? Like, what? But no, that's not what that is. Here a bit of a run by now by XellOs. He sneaks a couple vultures past those 2 Goliaths, but 2 Goliaths on the ramp will shut that right down. Did he manage to kill 1 vulture for free there? Took a few shots from those Goliaths, but really not a big deal. Siege now started, and a 3rd fact for kOs, so I guess this is just how we do it now. Apparently you can make units off 3 factories on one base. I didn't even think you'd be able to do that, but I suppose once your SCV count is high enough, why not? Vultures trying to get a cheeky surround on these Goliaths, but not really working out. Actually not a terrible trade for the Goliaths. Mines laid down here, but none of them actually activate. This is a pretty dangerous area for Goliaths to be. Kind of a funny move there by XellOs, trying to pull those Goliaths into the mines. But it looks like they were on hold position, so I actually just took a couple shots for free. Oh, okay, I didn't even see this command center. Definitely think that going into these higher tech units... Where is that? Okay. I was going to say, going into these higher tech units is pretty nice if you want to take that base. Is there a base started at the natural there for XellOs? I'm not quite sure. I think there's something on the minimap there. Again, it's always hard to tell with these VODs. They are not the greatest quality. But kOs, yeah, so there is a base here started. It's just going to be later. But pretty playable. I mean, TVT... Little advantages can really matter, but it's also a slower matchup that's a lot more positional based. So being a little bit late on your expansion sucks, but it's definitely playable still. So you see both players into siege tanks now. The day of the vulture is over. Maybe not over, but they're definitely not the hot tech anymore. Kind of funny, it's a late speed there for kOs, but definitely more defensive with his vultures after he kind of spewed some attacking up a ramp. So I guess he wasn't too interested in any run-bys or anything like that. 4th factory for XellOs. Wondering how high he'll go. Probably up to 5. I even get that 6. Like, if you can make off 3 factories with 1 base, I guess you could make off 6 with 2, right? Again, it kind of seems all in from today's standards, but obviously this is a different era, so can't really judge it by that. I think both players up to 5 fact now. We see 4 here for kOs. Is that a 5th making? Okay, there's a 5th. I want to see what that building making above these factories is. If that is actually the 6th factory or... he's already got an armory. It could be 2nd armory, I suppose, but... not sure that's actually where he wants to go. Well, Vulture's running in on these tanks, and if you get in between them and lay some mines, it can be really strong. Mine does activate, and one of those tanks ends up dying, the other one really low, so pretty vulnerable to getting finished off there. Vultures run by and lay a couple more mines, but they actually all get sniped by other vultures, and now we're just going to see the vultures of XellOs get cleaned up. But overall, fine. He did manage to kill one tank and got another one very low. And then traded for some vultures of his opponent, so that's kind of their job. Third base started now for XellOs. Nice for him. Looks like that'll be a little bit earlier than kOs's third, which is good. He's probably a few SCVs behind right now. Neither of them have really taken economic damage, but kOs did have that quicker CC. So my guess is that he's got a few extra SCVs. Now, I don't know who is better at clicking their command center hotkey and hitting S, but that definitely also makes a difference. A lot of vultures here for kOs. A lot of extra minerals to use up, I guess. Okay, so this third is about to be active. SCV's being transferred over. Definitely needs to get his production going on those workers, though. There's no reason to not be making them yet. TVT is definitely a matchup where you can make a ton of SCVs. You know, siege tanks are good, man. If you're a bit of supply behind an army, but that's letting you bank more and build more factories, like, that's fine. Okay, third started now. Oh wow, some nice damage here, and the natural kOs getting a lot of SCV kills here for these vultures. So I'd say they're definitely going to be able to pay for themselves now, trading for vultures of XellOs. But a nice little harass there, got quite a few SCVs. Didn't kill everything at this base, but he got a lot of them. More vultures grouping up over by the third, and there was just nothing here to defend it. Gonna be pretty painful for XellOs when these vultures run in, and here they go. Yeah, these SCVs are all dead. So it's looking pretty harsh now for XellOs. I'd say kOs has a pretty decent lead here at this point. Vultures are gonna get cleaned up. They didn't kill quite every SCV. 2 are left here. Third one pops out, but a lot of them killed. Probably another 10. Queuing up a bunch of SCVs there. And I do believe gas is the more important resource in this matchup, so making a bunch of SCVs isn't maybe as bad as it would be for other races, but still a lot of economic damage there. You'd much rather keep them alive. Especially when the vultures, you know, maybe if the vultures went in and they just like killed the SCVs and then they blew up, but that's not how it works. Those units stay alive, and other of XellOs' units had to be traded to kill them, so yeah. Pretty nice harass. Little pick off there on a vulture. Land some mines. Mines, such a great... Vultures are cool. I don't know. They're like annoying as hell, but they're also much more interesting than Hellions. I always find Hellions to be just like... Oh, I dropped 3 Hellions in your base and killed every worker in like 5 seconds. Ha ha ha. At least vultures can only kill 1 worker at a time. Can't just torch all my probes at once. So this does look, I think that was 2 starports being made. So I don't know what the tech in this matchup is. Maybe, I don't know. It seems a little early for battle cruisers, but oh, race. That's right. You go race in TVT. A sneaky 2 starport wraith switch can be really strong against siege tanks. Especially when your opponent, I believe, just hasn't made a Glock the whole game. So really no anti-air yet. If you can catch your opponent off guard with like Cloak Wraith or something too, that can be quite powerful. You see there were some missile turrets in that tank line, so maybe the cloak won't matter. Actually, both players are going Wraiths though, so they will both have some anti-air because Wraiths shoot up. On the Goliath tier list, I mean they're kind of high. They're like a B. You know, they shoot up and down. That's pretty Goliath. But they are up, and Goliaths are down, so that's not very Goliath. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're like a C. Shooting up and down is good, though. Certainly better than like a Corsair. Corsairs are like a D-, maybe an F on the Goliath tier list, just not high at all. Both players taking these corner bases, but Oh, that's painful. kOs SCV is killed right as the CC is about to finish. Now, I don't think those vultures will be able to kill this command center, but delaying it quite a bit. Definitely nice for him. I believe he actually hit a slower fourth, so what would have been slower fourth is now actually ahead. And for a pretty low cost. Is Vulture still alive? No, he will get killed off there. Did not expect him to make it out. Only just now actually saturating that third. So kind of behind on that was kOs, but still doing fine economically, and also didn't lose like 20 SCVs to Vulture Harass as XellOs did, so he could probably afford to be a little bit late on saturating that base. This is quite a hefty Wraith count. Both players on actually 3-port Wraith here. So this is one of those moments where you really hope they both try to reveal their Wraiths at the same moment and they just fly into each other somewhere in the middle. That would be hilarious. I actually don't think either player has Cloak though. So it is just going to be straight up Wraith v Wraith. No upgrades or anything like that. Oh, actually there was a control tower on one of those starports, so XellOs might have Cloak. And I don't think kOs has Cloak. I know the two at the bottom don't. Actually, here's a starport making a watchtower right now, so that might even be for Cloak. We'll have to see. The best way to know if your opponent has, or when one player has Cloak, is to see them use it. But here we go with the Wraith damage. One tank down already. Second falling now. This turret is close enough to help protect a little bit, but 3 tanks dead already. Wraith's actually just going to go fight the turret. Second turret not far away to help out, but here come the Wraiths. I do believe Cloak happened there. We saw a scan. Still pretty good so far for kOs here. He's now starting to lose a couple tanks of his own. 2 down. We'll see if he can get any more here. I think a third will probably fall. Depends on how good his micro is. A third does die. 1 Wraith pays the price for it. But honestly, these Wraith switches, maybe shouldn't call it Wraith switch, but like Hidden Wraith or whatever you want to call it, both kind of got the same amount of damage there. Okay, Cloak's actually about to finish for XellOs. I do not, yeah, the top didn't have one, but Cloak is researching, and even, wow, even Valkyrie's getting produced now. I guess that makes sense if there's a huge Wraith flock like that. Here's to hoping the Valkyries actually shoot. Looks like, okay, we are going to be seeing some battle cruisers. Can't imagine that's for a covert ops. It's got to be for a physics lab. Just given the tech. Unless he's going to make like 1 barracks ghost. Now, if he makes like, well, I guess you don't need that many ghosts. Yeah, I guess it could be for nukes. Huh. I don't know. I definitely expect it to be BCs. Just given the tech that both these players have gone into, but nukes might be kind of nice. I think this is a matchup where you can make some good use out of nuking, just forcing tank lines back. Usually the nuke won't actually hit anything, but just forcing your opponent to unsiege is really nice. You see a fight here. Valkyries get some pretty nice shots off on those Wraiths, killing a couple of them. But you actually might have seen it. I think those were actually bugging a little bit. Usually when a Valkyrie fires on Remastered, like there's like, I don't know, like 10 missiles or something. That Valkyrie shot like 2. So it is a little bugged. Doesn't always shoot the right amount. Double armory, and here is the physics lab. That's what I expected. So definitely going to see some BCs this game. Always exciting to see those higher tier units. Maybe you don't feel that way about carriers if you're a Terran player, but, you know, whatever. Always cool. I like to see the BCs especially. They're kind of, you know, I'm a Protoss player, but, like, BCs are just the coolest. Pretty nice little cancel there for kOs. Finding XellOs base. Pretty undefended. Might want to actually start building the turrets in this situation as opposed to starting with the CC. but I don't know. What happens if like 5 vultures run up, you know? That just feels even worse. So we do see drops started now. And yeah, no, that's never mind. I was gonna say XellOs has added in some Valkyries of his own, but no, that was the purple Terran. And it definitely looks like XellOs has sort of pulled back on the Wraith production, as opposed to kOs is basically just keeping it going. Little mine there is scouting out that base. Might end up seeing it cancelled or, I don't know, destroyed potentially. Alright, and the first battlecruiser is actually about to finish here. In the meantime, kOs is getting some more harassment damage done. Not bad. Always nice to kill some SCVs. More important is the gas production at this point, though. Pretty big commitment here for these air units jumping onto that turret and now going after some tanks as well. A lot of vultures here, definitely enough to overwhelm that turret. And the Valkyries make it so the Wraiths of XellOs can't really do much about this. Probably just had to, well, probably just lost all the tanks, honestly. But if they lived, it's because he ran them away. Yeah, okay, they're actually just finished off. Oof! Those vultures took some tank damage, that's for sure. Wraiths here doing a pretty clean job of cleaning up the vultures. As I was saying, though, gas is the more important resource in the matchup, so losing those vultures more or less for free, not a big deal, especially when you're killing some tanks of your opponents for more, you know, basically for free. Goliaths being produced now, I'm guessing that kOs knows about the BC tech. More tanks getting taken out here. Looks like this base that was scouted by that mine is probably about to die as well. Yeah, I mean, Wraiths aren't great against. Well, I mean, it's not that they're bad at killing CCs, because like command centers don't shoot back. There's no defense fortress or what the fuck that thing's called. But I wouldn't call them efficient building killers, so generally you need like overwhelming numbers. That was a ton of Wraiths though, so I guess they can do it. I have to imagine that CC went down. I'm sure they were all just hoping it would lift off. So here's the question, and I suppose it will be answered this game. How good are battlecruisers against Wraiths? I feel like Wraiths are probably still fine. Their air-to-air attack is pretty damn good. Okay, and the science facility is now done for kOs, so he's probably going to be going into some battle cruisers of his own. Gonna try to attack this base. I don't know. There's enough Wraiths here definitely to kill these vultures off pretty quickly. Definitely before they'll be able to kill all the turrets. I guess these Goliaths can do pretty well, but there is Cloaked on, and whew, that is a lot of battlecruisers ready. Tech is now revealed, so we're going to be seeing some shenanigans, and by that I mean a pretty big fight quite soon, I think. We'll see how good BCs are against pure Wraith. Well, Wraith with Valkyrie, I guess. I think Valkyries are probably not amazing against BCs. I'd probably rather just have Wraiths. I'm not sure. The Wraiths will definitely want to be microed. You would want to focus one at a time. But with Wraiths, also for XellOs, it's not like that's a one-way street. Air-to-air is good both ways. Wraiths find that base attempting to be taken and manage to clear it out. The BCs look like they're on their way. Nope, never mind, I lied. So I'm wondering if there's an SCV somewhere, or like a Marine or whatever, locked in that is in these control groups helping them stack. They don't look like they're stacking that much, so I don't think so. But, I mean, it's not like super spread out either, so there definitely could be. I haven't seen him anywhere, though. Actually, I guess you just use a tank, don't you? That's probably a lot easier. BC's doing a pretty good job of working over those turrets and now actually killing some tanks. Pretty free. Race come in, though, as well as the Valkyries. Now we're going to get our question answered. How good are Race against Battlecruisers? Actually, looks like the BCs held up really well against them. kOs forced to get the fuck out of there. After I don't even think he killed one Battlecruiser, so still a really large number. Oh boy, those Race didn't really get much done. Had to cloak and run. Scan to try to pick them off, but only getting one. I think the main problem here is these BCs are just pushing through everything right now. Not much that can really fuck with them at the moment. They are, the cattle bruisers are big, that's for sure. So, kOs here is trying to build up a force that can fight this, but yeah, I think that question of is our battlecruisers good against Race was pretty much answered. Yes, they are. BCs are actually starting to take out the production now. A couple of them are low, it looks like. At least this one is about to blow up. I would not want to be on that one. That's the, that's Battlestar Galactica right at the end. Ah! Picked off by the Race. Did not make it to New Earth. Or wherever the planet was, I can't remember what it was called. I think Earth was, like, completely irradiated or something. I don't know. You should only watch the first, like, 2.5 seasons if you watch that show. They're great, though. Anyway, Battlecruisers are in the main for kOs now, and really it doesn't look like he has much of anything to fight back against them. Even his Race are actually just taking out his opponent's army, and with no starports, you can't really make units, so I'm thinking XellOs has this one in the bag. His BC switch was pretty convincing, and kOs leaves the game, so yeah. Pretty good job there by XellOs. Just banked up some BCs, hid it long enough, and his opponent was not able to react. Kind of just mauled him. Well, a nice little TVT for you. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you come back for the next one.